Welcome to Worldwide Business. I'm Kathy Ireland. In the ever-complex industry of private aviation, there's a huge need for software management tools that are comprehensive, easy to learn, easy to use, and rock solid. Brad Tilford, CEO of Seagil Software Company, is here to explain why BART, their aviation management software system, is first class all of the way. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Brad, please tell us about some of the challenges in the aviation software industry.
You know, we see on TV and movies this nice shiny jet sitting on a tarmac, and the people hopping up the steps and getting in, then the jet taking off, and then finally landing, people getting off and getting into a limo. But the things that go on behind the scenes are just phenomenal, and trying to manage all that stuff is really hard. There are a lot of legal rules that apply to the crew, and a certain amount of rest time they need to have, and they can only fly so long during a day and have so long of a work day, so keeping track of that manually is really hard.
How does Seagil address these challenges?
We go to a lot of trade shows, even trade shows across the world. We even try to take some classes while we're at those trade shows because there's so much information out there. And the beauty is a lot of our customers and even prospects come to these shows. So we're able to talk to them and get information about what the new things are coming down the pipe. And we take all that information and continually, daily, are putting that in our software just to keep up with it and try to make their day easier.
And I'm sure it's ever-changing.
Constantly, all the time.
Well, in this Worldwide Business Field Report, we take a closer look at BART and discover why it is the standard choice in aviation technology.
People in the aviation industry are demanding more mobile access these days through their various devices. Pilots and other aviation staff need to access their scheduling and historical data while on the road or at home. Seagil Software's BART system is the most comprehensive aviation management software available and is by far the easiest system to learn and use.
I've been working with Seagil Software for about 10 years in different capacities. BART allows our department to efficiently and accurately manage the scheduling and record-keeping function. Business aviation is a complex operation, and therefore we need to be able to quickly and accurately compile vast amounts of information. The BART software and the user face allows us to do that incredibly well.
I have worked with Seagil BART for 22 years. They have been very supportive. They are really just a phone call or an email away. When I request something from them, they respond usually immediately. We have requested many custom reports, trip sheets, metrics that we actually measure, and BART has responded overwhelmingly in a positive manner. It's made my life as a scheduler a lot easier. A lot of my reports now are just really a button click instead of compiling, so that has made my life great and a lot easier. BART provides a lot of benefits. There are many different facets to scheduling aircraft. Airports, aircraft, crew, passengers. The data is pulled up on the screen by just a click. And you can multitask between multiple different databases, scheduling multiple legs of a trip. Very easy to use.
BART is one of the only viable, well-known aviation management software systems that is privately owned. This allows them to quickly make design and direction decisions without going through any red tape. Customers can easily get in touch with upper management and get their needs addressed in a timely manner.
Very easy to use. The interface is user-friendly. It only takes a few minutes of training before you're up to speed on the system. More importantly, excellent customer service, so if we do have an issue, a phone call or email away, and we're able to get right back on track.
If you can use a mouse, you can use BART. Everything's just a mouse click away. You can click into databases, whether that be airport, passenger, aircraft. The matter of just selecting an aircraft and then starting with where you're going to begin your trip and moving on from there. Very easy to use.
Brad, please tell us about your history as well as Seagil's.
Well, as a kid, I loved airplanes. I think all boys like, airplanes as they grow up. And
girls too.
Girls too? Okay, airplanes. All of us do then. And the neat thing is in the process of that and playing with airplanes and stuff like that, I had a neighbor down the street He was older than me. I guess he was a teenager. I was a young kid. But he built model airplanes, and some of them pretty good sized airplanes and some smaller. And he would take these to the field and throw it, you know, and it had them, you know, it would fly around and everything. I was just amazed by that. Somehow, later on, I found myself, and I really can't remember how this happened, but I found myself taking a few flying lessons at a local grass strip airport.
Wow. Were you still a child at this point?
Well, I was a teenager, I think.
Yeah.
I don't even think I told my mom that I was doing that, but I don't know how I ended up doing that, but it was so much fun. Then I went to college and studied math and computers. They called it computer science at the time, basically IT. And then I was in Central Kentucky at the time, and then I moved to Atlanta, and I was working as a computer consultant. And one of the coworkers there was talking to me and all this, and he said, you like, you know, software, and you like aviation, and I hear you just got your private pilot's license. And I had spent the last 6 months doing that. And he said, you know, my dad is starting this little company, or trying to get this company off the ground, and it's aviation and software. And I thought to myself, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, two perfect things that I love to do. He said, you gotta talk to him. So I went and met with him. His name was Gilbert Gregg Jr. And sat down with him, and he said, why don't you start working nights a little bit? You know, come in and work 2 or 3 hours and see how you like it and stuff like that. Because he needed somebody to work for him, you know, start working for him. And I thought, well, I'll, you know, check it out and do that. So I did, and met his partner, Chris, and worked there for a while. And he finally said, well, I'd like to hire you. I said, what do you want me to do? You know, write software or what, you know, because it's already looking great. He said, I want you to be sales manager. And I said, I don't know anything about selling, you know. He said, well, just be yourself and show people the software, and we'll take it from there. And so we were working in the basement of his house, and I was in this back room with no windows or anything, with a computer and a telephone. And shortly, I ended up going full-time, by the way, but shortly after that, I found myself selling software to people in Germany, companies in Germany, and I thought, this guy is onto something, you know. And
had he currently been selling internationally?
His background was he sold airplanes, and he had flown airplanes for a long time and started selling what at the time were called West Winds. And so he had a lot of contacts throughout the world, really. And for some reason, his favorite part of Europe was Germany. And, you know, he had his little Mercedes he had to have, you know, from friends he'd met and everything. But he had a lot of contacts over there. So I think that's how it kind of got started over in Germany. And then went on for about 10 years, and then he wanted to retire. And I asked him, I said, well, you know, would you care if I bought the company? And, you know, could we do that? I don't even know how to do that. And he said, I think that'd be a good fit. So we worked that out, and that was in 1998, and I've been here ever since.
Wow.
Love it.
Your passion of aviation, of technology, and you bought the company.
I mean, it really couldn't have worked out any better. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
What does BART stand for, and what does that entail?
Well, Business Aircraft Records and Tracking. And there are a lot of different pieces of that, and a lot of programs that help these different management companies manage their software. Things like scheduling, record keeping, quoting, booking systems, and things like that.
And what types of companies use BART, and who needs to be using BART?
Well, we focus on two primary companies, charter companies and then corporations. Corporations have their own fleet of aircraft, their own pilots, their own crew. And then charter companies do everything pretty much that corporations do, but they actually go out and sell the trips. The neat thing is it doesn't matter how small or how large the company is.
Right.
You can have one airplane and a couple of pilots, or you can have 100 airplanes and 250 pilots. We tailor our software to, you know, to match those individual needs. And there are companies all over the world, so. What
types of benefits does BART provide for these companies?
For charter companies, the difference in that, like I mentioned, is they sell trips. They try to solicit people to use their aircraft. So we have a quoting tool and a marketing tool that they use for that. And then we have a scheduling program where all the corporations and companies can schedule their aircraft, schedule their crew and their passengers, and all the logistics that have to do with that trip. Then we have historical tracking, and we have a booking shuttle system for companies that want to do that. We have mobile applications. You know, we try to cover it all. Anything that they need to do to manage their information and make their day easier, we try to do it.
And I understand BART not only reduces costs, but also improves safety.
Well, time is money, you know, and I think my biggest goal with this software is how can I save people time? You know, I talk to them and they say, well, I've got to do these 4 or 5 steps to get something done. It's like, well, let's see if we can simplify that into 2 or 3. And then retyping things they used to do, or some companies still do, trying to keep the system so that none of that has to be done. Trying to find out what people do during the day to make their job easier, and saving that time helps them save money.
And Brad, what types of reporting does BART provide, and are they customizable?
We have reports for all different facets of the software, and the word customizable I hear probably, I don't know, 20 times a day. Everybody wants a custom report. The one thing in common people have is they fly airplanes, but every report and everything else, you know, tends to be different. So we customize reports all the time. We even ended up writing a report writer so customers can write their own reports. We're constantly doing that.
An example of a custom report that BART created for our department is a flight crew recency sheet. What this does is it flags our department coordinator when she's making the schedule for the week or the month out. And if certain federal aviation regulation flight crew recency requirements are not met, it will automatically flag her and also alert the crew that they are not current and able to take that flight. It's a way for us to effectively manage the operation and prevent something from falling through the cracks that could come back to bite us later.
I've been in business for a lot of years in the aviation area, so we have a lot of special reports that we like, and they've been very good about creating reports that just are for the criteria that we have. For instance, metrics. We measure a lot of our flying quarter to quarter, and they designed that for us and made it so much easier. A lot of the enhancements have been make our reporting just a matter of a click of a button. We don't have to compile a lot of data. It's compiled for us. So they just took the criteria that we needed for these reports, created it, and we simply clicked the time frame and the button, and we've got it.
And I can only imagine that support for mobile is high demand. Do you
Huge
support
demand.
mobile access?
We do. We have to, you know, but that's a lot of fun. With the tablets and the smartphones and all, we've got applications that they use for that, apps they use for that, and we call our app BART Copilot. And we even had mobile applications back in the early 2000s when it first came out for the little flip phones and everything.
Okay.
So we really try to stay up with that technology, but mobile's keeping us busy for sure.
Seagil Software's new mobile app, Copilot, provides customers immediate access to their important data from anywhere in the world.
Copilot is just that, a mobile app that allows us to progress from a paper cockpit to a paperless cockpit. We've done that in charting and in aircraft manuals, and now we're doing that with our flight logs, as we call them. We are able to enter trip details directly onto our iPad app that then is populated into the server, eliminating a step of data entry and also improving accuracy.
The new mobile app Copilot is a great option when you're away from the office. You don't have to be tied down to the desktop version. You can actually view your schedules. You can enter flight logs right into the Copilot application. You have access to databases, all the details you need for your trips. It's a great option when you're away from the office.
As one of the most respected software solution providers in the aviation industry, Seagil Software's easy-to-use and intuitive products provide aviation staff with their vital information no matter where they travel.
And what would you say sets Seagil and BART apart from your competition?
Our staff. Seagil has just the best group of people. They're very knowledgeable. I mean, they're geniuses. I mean, that's what I refer to them. I tell them that too. I mean, they make the company what it is. Our software's always been known as easy to use. Very intuitive, but very robust at the same time. This is all we do. All Seagil does is work on the BART system. We don't focus on anything else but that. And we're privately owned. We're not owned by a larger company that we have to go through a lot of red tape to get approval for things. If somebody calls or emails us and they need this or that, we can make a decision really quick and take care of it. So
Your efficiency is phenomenal.
it works really well.
Brad Tilford, the owner of Seagil Software, has been a joy to work with. He's always been very approachable, and I do like the fact that someone that's an owner, programmer, you can reach out to him, he'll respond, or he'll get someone to get right back with you to take care of any of the issues you might have or answer a question. They've been a great team of people, and I've enjoyed working with them. And I've met probably 5 or 6 of the employees, and all of them really nice.
I would recommend BART and the team at Seagil to other flight departments. They do an excellent job. They continually evolve their product to meet the needs of the customer, and they listen to our needs.
Lastly, Brad, what do you see for the future of the industry and the future for Seagil?
The industry is really fun to watch. I read recently, I think it was in Forbes or somewhere, that in the next 10 years, they are going to deliver 10,000 brand new jets. And the value of that, I think, was like $250 billion. So if that's not an indication of the industry and the growth and all that, I don't know what is. And as far as we're concerned, Seagil's really never had a downturn, even with the economy, you know, early on. People started flying less, but they still needed to fly, still need to manage, you know, aircraft. So we were in a great position even during that downturn. We're going to stay strong and keep focusing on customer needs, keep those relationships building, try to attend more trade shows across the world. So I'm excited. I mean, it's a dream. It really is. It's a lot of fun.
Brad, it sounds like Seagil Software and BART has all the bases covered, and you've created indispensable tools for your customers. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
For Worldwide Business, I'm Kathy Ireland. Thank you for watching.